Today we're going to be talking about autumn or fall, whatever you want to call it. This is my favorite season by far. I have always felt some kind of affinity to autumn. I just fucking love it and always have. But beyond it being my favorite season, it is also the most productive season of the year and the best season in terms of getting shit done and being motivated. So today we're going to be talking about why in autumn it's so much easier for us to stick to new habits and actually create lasting change and generally feel more motivated, more inspired, get more shit done. We just kind of have this fire under our ass in autumn. And I've always felt that, but I didn't necessarily realize this was actually science backed. Like, this is proven. I always just thought, like I said, I have some affinity to autumn. I've always loved autumn. Maybe it's the weather. Maybe I just like being cozy. But yeah, I do. But also, it is proven that this is the most productive time of year. And I've done quite a bit of research on it. And so I wanted to talk about how to utilize the energy boost that you naturally get at this time of year. Take advantage of that, because you don't get that same energy boost in all the other months. All the other seasons don't really come with this like unique window of time where, you don't necessarily need to use as much discipline and willpower as you would, say, in the summer to create a new habit or create some sort of change or get something done that you want to do. It comes a little bit more naturally because you do get this natural boost of motivation and energy in this season. So you kind of have the wind in your sails. So it's a great time to actually start kind of thinking about what you want to change, or maybe you don't even need to think about it. Maybe there's things that you've been putting off or that you've been distracted. Summer is quite a distracting season. It's quite free-flowing. There's not much structure in summer. We tend to be out more, doing more activities, just living our lives, and that's kind of what the season, I think it's kind of for that. But you might have some things that you want to do, whether it's like you want to change some daily habit or your sleep schedule, or maybe you want to cook more, maybe you want to start drinking less, or you want to do some course online or go to, I don't know, some fucking thing that you're like, I need to get on that. But like, if any time you're going to be doing that and succeeding at it, it's right now. So not that you couldn't do it in summer, but there's a lot more like resistance naturally that you can't help. So we're just going to get into like why that is and how to use that, because I find it so fucking interesting. So I don't know about you, but my experience with autumn has always been, without consciously doing this, it's the season I tend to like do some sort of like reset or reinvent myself in some fucking way. Whether it's like, I don't know, the music I listen to, or like the clothes that I'm wearing, or like, I feel such a shift in chapter every time it comes around to autumn, way more than I do at New Year's, which is weird because New Year is obviously actually a fucking new year. And it does feel like a fresh start to me. Like January 1st, is always quite fun. But for me, autumn, coming into September, October, it's always felt like such a fresh start to me, more than any other time of year. And as I was doing some research on this, I found so many fucking studies and so much evidence that this is not just me, this is not just that I love autumn, it's fucking proof. And one study that I read says that October is the most productive month of the year, followed by September and November, which are all autumn. Is November autumn? I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is. And the reason for this is you've been primed by summer. Like I said, in summer, generally, we're spending a lot of time outside. The days are longer. Obviously, vitamin D is a huge thing. Like, the light fucking makes a massive difference in how you feel. It's the same as like, I live by the sea, and in summer, the sea here is fucking cold because I live in the UK. The sea is cold. The sea is actually warmest in like September, October, because it's had the whole summer of warming it up. But even though it's not actually warm out necessarily in those months, it can be, but not usually. The sea is actually not that it's not that cold. And I think we're kind of the same, that you have this whole summer of like long days and sunshine and being outside more and seeing your friends more and doing more fun activities, that when it comes around to September, October, we've been almost charged up by the whole fucking summer, And like I said, it gives us the wind in our sails to feel naturally more energized and motivated. And equally, to prove that, January is the least productive month of the year I found in my research, followed by February, which does not fucking surprise me at all because equally then you've been primed by winter. Do you know what I mean? You've spent the last 2, 3, 4 months in short days, a lot of darkness, a lot of getting up for work and it's dark, spending your whole day at work, coming home and it's dark, and you stay in more. You know, that can be quite fucking depressing. Seasonal depression is no joke. And coming out of like the depths of winter, where are you going to be getting this motivation from? Do you know what I mean? Like, you have to just kind of accept that you're not going to feel super energized in January and February. You're going to feel kind of tired. And this is why, another thing I found in my research, that on average, 10% of New Year's resolutions are fucking stuck to. You know, 10%. And that doesn't surprise me because you can't just force yourself to have this boost and burst of energy, you know, to make these massive changes when you've just come out of fucking winter. Like, you can't just summon this motivation out of nowhere. Whereas in autumn, you don't have to summon it because you feel more energized. And also, another thing that I read is 8 in 10 people, according to Nationwide, the bank in the UK, I assume that's just a UK bank, did a study. 8 in 10 people say January is their toughest month financially, which again seems fucking obvious because Christmas is expensive, New Year's is expensive. It's just an expensive season. December, if I had to guess, is probably the most expensive month of the year. Didn't Google that, but I could probably fucking guess. And therefore, January, everyone's fucking skint. Everyone is trying not to spend any money because everything costs money in December. And that has an impact on how you feel. You know, money issues bleed into everything. It causes stress. And also, when you don't have any spare money, you don't do anything. Do you know what I mean? You don't go out and do fun shit. You stay in and you cook at home. And it's a lot easier then, again, to feel a bit more shit because as much as you don't need to spend money to have fun, like you don't, you could not have that much spare money in general and live a very fulfilling life. But you know, coming into the depths of winter, it's dark, it's cold, and you have no money to even go out and do anything fun. It's just a recipe for disaster, do you know what I mean? So that's another factor. But I read this study that I've got on my laptop here by Red Booth, and they said workers complete the fewest amount of tasks in January, whilst they complete the highest amount of tasks in October. They tracked like employees and data analysis and shit. And again, just supporting the whole fucking thing. And it's one of those things that now that I've read all of this shit on it, I'm like, do you even need to do a study on that? I feel like it's obvious. But like I said, I didn't really link it all together. I just naturally felt a bit more energized and excited and like I just love autumn. But I think when you know the facts, then you feel a little bit more inclined to actually take advantage of that window of time where you have this energy boost and you feel more inclined to be like, okay, I should probably do something about that, not just feel really energized and motivated and waste that energy boost. Do you know what I mean? And this is what I mean by like, I think it's a great time to, when everything's kind of settling down after summer, it's a great time to focus a little bit more because there's also plenty of fucking studies about your cognitive function and your focus being at their most effective at this time of year. So it's a great time to actually like reconnect with yourself, realign with what you want and your goals and like how it doesn't even have to be like goals in terms of like money and career and jobs and anything fucking wild, but it could be, like I said, certain shifts that you want in your life. Maybe you've been wanting to work on like your self-esteem, or like I said, maybe you've been wanting to spend less money on food and like get into cooking a bit, or like pick up a creative hobby, or like maybe you've wanted to, I don't know, try dating more, but you've been busy all summer and you're like, now I actually want to prioritize my dating life and actually, you know, put some energy into that because maybe that's something important to you that you've just been distracted, you know? It could be anything, like anything that you want that's going to better your life for yourself in some way. And no one can tell you what that should be. But like, my point is to realign with how you want to feel and if you're doing the things that are going to bring you to feel that way right now. It's a great time to just realign and reconnect with yourself and like I said, I've always felt like this is a season that I end up reinventing myself in some way, shape or form, making some kind of changes and like just tinkering with like my life. Like I feel like, I don't know, just coming like back into myself. I feel like it's very easy to not really be super present as well in summer. That's something I find is because it's such like a free-flowing, distracting fucking season. It like I just feel like I'm all over the place in summer. Like I'm just like, my head is like in a million places at once because there's so much shit going on. And as well, this like makes me think of the quote, don't fix your roof on a rainy day, fix it on a sunny day. Because it's like, summer to me is not the time of year to be like trying to make major changes all the time. And you're like, obviously it's good to always kind of be tinkering a little bit with your life and like what you want and stuff. That's great. It's great to never like fully shove that to the side, but I think summer is just not the season to expect really consistent changes and really healthy habits all the time. Like it's just harder to upkeep, and I think still good to try, but I think autumn comes with a sense of order and consistency. You know, it's a little bit more structured, you know, and I think that's something that a lot of us can find quite boring about the colder months and a lot more like monotonous, and why people sometimes are like autumn and winter and shit is like boring because it's just like you feel like you're living the same day, like Groundhog Day all the time throughout winter. Like that's what can be so depressing about it. But you know, that obviously doesn't have to be the case. You can control if you don't have a varied routine, you know, that's obviously going to make you feel fucking bored and shit. But anyway, my point is, as much as it can be something that feels kind of monotonous, it also, because it comes with that order and that consistency, it's so much easier. It works so in your favor if there's something you want to change or some sort of habit you want to stick to, or like any sort of goal you have. Life is like working with you here. Do you know what I mean? It's becoming consistent, and we all know that if you want to stick to a habit, you have to be consistent, actually create some sort of routine and like regime around it. And it is so much easier to do that in seasons that come with order. Like it's doing it half the work for you. Do you know what I mean? I also think like back to school season is, you know, it's always in September. In the UK, I assume back to school is the same everywhere. Maybe I'm wrong. But like, you know, you've spent a lot of your fucking life at this time of year. It's coming to the end of summer and it's time to get your head back down and you have to go back to school or college or sixth form or university. And I think when you spend like how many years doing that in quite formative years, you know, it becomes kind of this thing ingrained in you where like as summer comes to an end and it becomes September again, you almost have this like back to school alarm that still goes off in your head almost, of like, even if you're not in school or in education anymore, like I am not in education anymore, but I still, you know, you still see it everywhere, like the back to school stuff and all the shops, and like maybe your friends are going back to uni, or maybe you have kids and they're going back to school, or like somewhere around you there's going to be triggers and cues that it's time to fucking focus again, because for a lot of people this is the time that they have to go and start studying and working towards their goals again. You know, summer is the time to travel and play and see your friends and go out for dinner all the time and you know, just do whatever you want and play. And then it comes to a season where you're like, okay, I need to buy all my notebooks and my pens, and I need to like go back to doing study dates and booking in like sessions with my laptop in fucking like libraries and stuff. And I think we spend so many years doing that it's still like, it still feels prominent in my life. I know that like in the season, I don't know, I feel more inclined to set some sort of goals or have something to work towards, because it feels like everyone else does. It feels like everyone else is like going back to university and stuff, and I'm like, I feel like I need to like reset and think about, okay, what do I want, what goals do I want to set, and like, you know, have shit that I'm working towards too. And I always think that humans feel better when they have goals and things to work towards. I think it gives us like purpose and like keeps us feeling fulfilled and shit. Like if we don't have anything we're working towards ever, and any kind of goals or things we want to improve, I think we get quite bored, you know, like idle hands are the devil's playthings, I believe is the quote. It's true, idle hands are not good. Like having something that you're fucking working on is great and it makes us feel good. And I feel that, you know, at any time of year, but in autumn I really want to fucking like get my head down and work on shit, or like even just like get more into meal prepping, or like focus on sleeping earlier and get back into like journaling and reading all my books and doing shit. Like it just, I don't know, it's like the shit I normally do, but I just want to do it like way more because I have this burst of motivation to like better myself and like work on myself. I do think it's important though, back to something I said a minute ago, that like, yes, it becomes monotonous and it can become boring in the colder seasons. That's something I struggle with, is I'm like, every day is the fucking same. I think it's very important to infuse novelty, especially in the colder seasons, into your life. Make sure you're getting out of your comfort zone and doing shit that feels like something novel, because otherwise you will lose your mind. This is kind of off topic, but it's just a little tip in like autumn, winter. It's very easy to get lazy and not do the fun shit. You know, in summer, it's like, let's drive to this beach, let's go to this new restaurant, you know, let's get out the house and do this. It's very easy to stay in the house and do fucking nothing in winter. So make sure that maybe like every week or two, you spend, you know, you actively plan in, like, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to go to this place. I'm going to try this new, do something that feels novel. Or like, as much as I'm saying, it's great to be consistent and have goals and be routine about it, you also do need some variation. You know, don't make your life feel like Groundhog Day. Like, you do also need to have fun and stay sane. So make sure you do infuse fun into it too. You can have great habits and get great results in the areas you want without making yourself miserable and not doing anything fun. Because I think that's a great way to get ahead of early burnout as well. It's so much easier to get burnt out at this. Not yet. Like, right now it's still like on the edge of summer. So it's like, you know, we've still got quite a lot of energy to us. Like I'm saying, this is kind of actually the time we're least likely to feel burnt out. But when it gets more to like December, January, February, it doesn't take much for you to feel burnt out as fuck. So like, to avoid the early burnout, make sure you're having some sort of fun or doing something out of your comfort zone. Getting dressed up, going somewhere new. Don't let it become a season of being miserable. Although seasonal depression's a thing, and you can't really help that it's dark and fucking miserable sometimes, you know, and like the energy levels do go down in winter. And I'm talking about a different fucking season at this point. This episode's about autumn, but maybe I'll make an episode more towards winter about avoiding like early burnout. I've already done episodes on preventing burnout, but maybe I'll do some winter specific episode. I'm sure I will. But yeah, I'm gonna move back to autumn, but my point is, try to avoid early burnout. I think ride the wave of motivation now, and then make sure you're adding some novelty when it starts getting like actually dark as fuck everywhere. Just a tip, but back to autumn. I just think it's so important to embrace the season that you're in. You can't change the season. You can't change the weather. Maybe it's not your favorite season. Maybe you love summer and you love it being sunny all the time or whatever. It's not sunny all the time here. This has actually been like such a grey summer in the UK. It's barely been sunny at all. Like, it's actually been really cloudy. A lot. But yeah, like, as much as maybe it's not your favorite season, maybe you love summer. I know a lot of people way prefer summer. I don't really like heat, so I have that going for me in terms of autumn. But you know, you can't change the weather. You can't change whether or not the seasons are going to change. The same way you can't change the fact that the color blue is blue. It's just like fucking pointless to get your panties in a twist about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, embrace the season that you're in. If you don't, you're just making yourself feel like shit and feel miserable about something that's going to happen anyway. And there's great things about every single season. Like I said, I don't really like heat. There's a lot of parts of summer that I like. I'm like, oh, fuck. But I can swim in the sea more. I do enjoy the longer days. I enjoy the pretty sunsets. You know, I do see my friends more. Everyone's a bit more free. You know, there's great things about it. Every season brings something great that every other season doesn't have. So embrace autumn. Whether or not it's your favorite month, like me, embrace it, you know. Change your style to be autumn. Maybe get some nice boots, wear some tights, like watch Harry Potter, watch Gilmore Girls, cook comfort meals at home, you know. Light the fire. It's a bit early to fucking do that. It's a bit humid still, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I think those little things that seem like cliche autumn things, like getting the autumn candles and the bedding and shit, it is a really sweet thing to do, and it actually brings a lot more joy to you being in a new season. Do you know what I mean? Like, it seems like it wouldn't really benefit you, but I think it just makes the whole transition more fun, you know, and like it just makes everything feel a little bit magical, you know, having like the autumn candles and like the air freshener in your car and everything, making it like a pumpkin scent. I don't know, it's just like, it's cute, and I think it's nice to do things like that. You know, it does make a big difference. Feels like nostalgic as fuck. Autumn feels so nostalgic, and I don't know why, but it always does. It always makes me feel like I'm like 10 again. Like, I just love it. So yeah, embrace it, enjoy it. I know I will. See it as a fresh start, because that is always fun. I love a fresh start. And maybe set some goals. Maybe now's the time, whatever the fuck you want to do, now's the time to do it, basically. If you didn't get the gist from the whole episode, now is a great time to sit down with a notebook, get your pen out, and write down some shit that you want to do. you know, work out maybe some changes that you want to make, or some area that you want to improve in, or maybe, like I said, maybe you want to date more, maybe you want to make more friends, maybe you realize that, like, okay, I fucking hate my hair. I actually want to work on, like, making my hair healthy again. Maybe you've damaged the fuck out of it with heat. I don't know. Just just like some sort of thing that you want to improve. Like, set yourself some little goals, and like, I guarantee it will make you feel better. I guarantee it. Like I said, we feel so good when we have areas that we're improving on and working on. Don't overdo it. Again, I did an episode on the downside to like constantly self-improving and all the time, like, you don't need to like fix everything about your life right now, but like, because you don't need fixing, but you know, everyone benefits from a handful of goals, areas you want to work on. Maybe it's only one or two, whatever, but like, it is fun, and it does make you wake up kind of excited and kind of having this motivation to like, oh my god, I get to get up and do this thing, and like, it just puts a little pep in your step to have like a focus. It's exciting and it's fun, and yeah, maybe get a notebook out and write some shit down. I know I'm gonna do that soon. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Happy autumn, happy September or October. Oh my god. I think it will be October when I post this. Happy Halloween, guys. And yeah, I hope that you feel as positive as I do about autumn. If you don't, maybe this will have changed that. So yeah, expect more autumnal videos to come. Thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and I will talk to you next Tuesday.